Hello, my name is Sangu Mandanna and I'm the author of Kiki Kallira Breaks a Kingdom. I'm so excited to talk to you about this book today. Kiki is a story about a British Indian girl who is neurodivergent and has anxiety, and it's about how she uses art and creativity to kind of escape from the chaos in her brain and just make up stories and lose herself in a whole new world. Of course, that's all very well until a demon king from South Indian folklore brings her whole sketchbook world to life, and suddenly this anxious child who worries about everything finds that she has to save not one but two universes. So I thought today I would read a little bit of the book, probably the bit where Kiki first starts to use her art and her creativity to create this world. So I hope you enjoy this little bit, and I can't wait for this book to be out in the world. So here we go. Flopping down onto my rug with my box of art supplies, I opened my new sketchbook and started to draw the first thing that popped into my mind. Monsters start to take shape on the first page. First the wolf from Little Red Riding Hood, then the beast from Beauty and the Beast, and then an Asura, a huge monstrous demon from Indian folklore. By the time I'd finished the pencil outline of the Asura, I felt calmer. No, it was even better than that. As I stared at that third sketch, I felt the sudden electric excitement you get when you have a totally brilliant idea. One of the stories Mum had told me years ago, with my bedside lamp turned down low and the illustrated book of Indian folklore on her lap, was the story of the Asura king Mahishasura. It went something like this. Hundreds of years ago, long before India became the country it is now, there was a kingdom in the south called Mysore. It was a rich, golden city with beautiful, shining palaces, gentle hills, and lush green land. Then Mahishasura came to Mysore. He was the cruelest and most powerful of all the Asuras. He killed the kings of Mysore and took the city for himself. The people resisted, but they were no match for him or his Asura army. They stole children from their beds, burned the crops, and threw anyone who tried to fight back into deep prisons so that they never saw the sun again. And Mysore became a sad, dark place where the people lived in fear and where all hope seemed lost. The first question I'd asked Mum when Mum told me the story was, but why didn't the gods stop him? In Indian folklore, the gods are always incredibly powerful, and three of them in particular: Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. When I pointed this out to Mum, she rolled her eyes and said, "If you keep your gob closed for longer than 2 seconds, Kiki, you might find out." Because, as it turned out, Mahishasura had a secret weapon. Before he came to Mysore, he had spent years praying to Brahma. Impressed with his persistence, and I guess because gods did this kind of thing all the time in the stories, Brahma had offered him a boon. "I want to be immortal," Mahishasura said. "I can't do that," Brahma replied. "All I can do is make you so powerful that no god or man can kill you." Satisfied, Mahishasura accepted the gift. No god or man could kill him. So when the whole destroying Mysore thing happened, the gods were a teensy bit annoyed. They went to Brahma and demanded to know how they were supposed to defeat Mahishasura when he was protected by such a powerful boon. "Well," said Brahma, "I said no god or man could kill him. Perhaps you should send a goddess." So the gods combined their power and created the warrior goddess Chamundeshwari, who was every bit as awesome as she sounded. She rode into Mysore on the back of a great lion, and at the foot of the hills she and Mahishasura had a long, bitter battle. In the end, she won. She killed the Demon King, and she saved Mysore. Yay! To show her how grateful they were, the people of Mysore gave the hills a new name in her honor. They called them the Chamundi Hills. The next time we visit Granny and Gramps, Mum said, I'll take you to Mysore to see the real Chamundi Hills. You can even see a statue of Mahishasura and a temple for Chamundeshwari at the top. It was a fun story. Just a story. Much like Zeus and Thor and Osiris, Mahishasura had never really existed. I sometimes like to think they had all been around once because mythology was so cool, but I was 11 years old and I kind of knew that myths were just myths. Jackals didn't talk, the sun wasn't pulled across the sky by a god in a chariot, and Asuras weren't real. And the totally amazing idea I had right then, with a yellow sketchbook open in front of me, was to create a Kiki version of the old city of Mysore and retell the story of Mahishasura in my own way. I sketched quick, sharp lines with my pencil, went over them in black ink and filled the shapes in with shades of cream, white, gold and red. Mysore Palace sparkled back at me from the paper, almost exactly like the one I'd seen in the real city the last time Mum and I had visited India. It was so warm and alive that I could almost hear the birds and feel the heat of the sun. I drew outwards from there, taking pieces out of the story Mum had told me and jumbling them up with my own whimsical ideas. I drew palaces and clockwork trains, outdoor markets and rainbow houses, red London double-decker buses and jackals in deep dark woods, cobblestone streets and lush green hills, a circus that never stopped, a castle in the sky. Sketch after sketch after sketch, black ink in vivid colours. My hand cramped and my neck ached, but I barely noticed because I was so excited about the world growing right in front of me. My world. I'd been having so much fun with my weird, perfect patchwork Mysore that I didn't really want to ruin it by introducing Mahishasura and his army of demons into it. But all good stories need an enemy the heroes have to fight, right? I started with his head. Mahishasura was a buffalo demon, so I drew a pair of thick, curled horns. It took me a little while to get the pencil lines just right, but once I was happy with them, I inked them in with bold, black strokes. And that was when the real world got weird. And that's where I'm going to stop for today, but I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm so excited for Kiki to be out in the world on the 8th of July. Thank you!